Dave Rodgers. If you're into Eurobeat, whether you're deeply involved and it's practically your lifestyle, or you have only just lightly dipped your toes in the depths of the rabbit hole, you are certain to know who this guy is. And well, if you don't know who he is, I appreciate you for clicking on this video anyway, but seriously, are you bored or something? Anyway, he's the Deja Vu guy, and he's arguably the most influential artist in Eurobeat. Dave has sung and produced countless songs throughout his career, including many icons of the genre, and today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite songs he sang. To qualify for this list, the song must be sung by him or he must be a main vocalist. So duets count, but I'm not going to include something where he only did backing vocals, which there's a lot of those in the ABC library. Also, this isn't limited to Eurobeat, but most of this list will be Eurobeat because I like Eurobeat. Finally, the alias used for the song doesn't have to be Dave Rodgers. Back in the day, Giancarlo used many different aliases, and it would be a shame to limit this list to works only under one. Now, here are my current top 15 songs sung by Giancarlo Pasquini, aka Dave Rodgers. You know, this was originally going to be a top 10 list, but there were just too many songs that I liked to not want to talk about. The original Wild Reputation is iconic and charming as well, but there's something about this version that just itches my brain just right. This song is one that definitely sounds very personal, and I felt like the instrumental of the original sometimes didn't quite match the passion of Dave's voice. Here, there's an increase of energy and, how would I say this? I'm no musician. Depth? Layers? Like an onion. Whatever. An increase of energy and onions to the instrumentals. The outcome is a very powerful and emotional song, as if you're listening to it directly from Dave's heart itself. A wonderful track. This song is hot. Get it? Please laugh at my jokes. Hot Fire has become kind of a hot topic in the Eurobeat community fairly recently, due to its unforgettable album cover. Yeah, he's got his breasts out. It's kind of a big deal. Moving on, I actually mean it when I say this song is hot. It's got this subtle sexuality about it that I dig, and it's not so in your face, but if you read the lyrics, it can be interpreted as something spicy, but it could also be innocent kind of thing. Dave's vocals especially bring the classy sexuality vibes home. Maybe this might be an odd thing to enjoy about it, but it was done so well. It's mature, it's elegant, and it's catchy. Great track. The example I'm using is the Saturday Night mix, but both mixes are worth a listen. To be honest, this is a nostalgic song for me. The first Eurobeat album I ever purchased was Super Eurobeat Presents Dave Rodgers Special Selection Volume 2 from iTunes. Of course, I still remember that. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, that compilation was my first exposure to many of the songs on it, and my favorite of the bunch was always Final Countdown. It's just simply so fun, and it gets me hyped. The build up to the chorus with the actual countdown is one of my favorite aspects of the song. Really, what ties it all together to make it so great to me is all the subtle things about it. From the backing cheers to Dave's voice leading anticipation with the countdown. Of course, the riff, while simple, is fun, and the guitar is always nice. I associate this song with the feeling of first getting into Eurobeat, and it will always be special to me because of that. You got the Dave Rodgers version, the Norma Sheffield version, and the UB version, but as you'd expect, the Dave version is my favorite. Mostly because he's my favorite, but also because I absolutely love his vocal performance in this song. When it comes to these songs, it's more about the rough aspects of love. I think Dave does them exceptionally well. The emotion in his voice feels very true, and it leaves a great impact on my ears. Nothing changed is a bit of an oddity, a step out of the norm for Dave, pun not intended, but that's why this is so good. It stands out and it's one I find myself returning to a lot. Sometimes I'd wish he'd do more songs with a similar theme and style. Okay, maybe putting both these here is cheating because they're technically two different songs, but they're both so wonderful it's hard to pick between either of them. The original Dancing in the Fire brings me joy. Lyrically, it's a very typical Eurobeaty song about love and having fun, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It certainly does. The song itself feels like a party of your closest friends, you know? It's not so loud and overwhelming, but still a good time all around. I guess the almost comforting aspect of it has earned it a place in some official iShoe nonstop mixes, though it really isn't iShoe at all. Either way, Dancing in the Fire is always a pleasant experience. A lot of people have mixed feelings about Dave Rodgers' music covers and remakes, but one thing I've seen fans agree on is the remake of Dancing in the Fire is deserving of some praise. It keeps the party-like spirit of the original and injects it with an energetic ooze. It doesn't feel like a shadow of the original, but rather its crazier twin. While yes, maybe it isn't as laid back as the original is, those new powerful vibes breathe new life into an already fantastic track. Both versions are worth a listen if you haven't already. Fun fact, Love in the Elevator is actually inspired by Love in an Elevator by Aerosmith. Okay, fun fact over, my thoughts on the song now. I laughed hysterically when I first heard this. It's so out of pocket and unusual for Dave Rodgers in terms of the theme, and that's why it got me so good. Even the title before I listened had me like, huh? It's the perfect balance of sexy and funny. Love in the Elevator is surprisingly dynamic with a sound that perfectly encapsulates the early 2000s ABC productions at their greatest. This is one I would certainly recommend to someone who is only familiar with Dave's Initial D songs, as not only would it give them a good laugh, but it might just be the type of tune they can get behind. Just don't get behind Dave in an elevator. Remember how I said that Dave does songs about the rough aspects of love exceptionally well? Here is another prime example of that. Misty Blue was one of two collaborations between Dave and Eurobeat Union, a doujin group. Now, I can say that I am an enjoyer of Toho Eurobeat and the general sound of most doujin productions, so hearing that style paired with Dave's voice really got me hyped. The other song in this collab, Gold Night, is also great, but I ultimately prefer Misty Blue. This is because of Dave's performance in the song. It is an aggressive track about losing trust in your lover, which is not a type of song Dave sings too frequently, but the feeling of sadness, fury, betrayal, and confusion that are conveyed in the lyrics are all present in Dave's passionate vocals. This, along with the energetic production style of Eurobeat Union, makes for one outstanding show. When I first saw the announcement of this song, I expected it to be another typical Initial D theme track. You know, I expected it to be good, but nothing to write home about. Just throw it into the pile of Initial D stuff. On my first listen though, that changed the second the beat dropped into that crazy cool riff. I think the energy this song has is the thing I like the most about it. I mean, I like Initial D, but Initial D is not why I like Eurobeat. Actually, it's more vice versa. So I don't connect with the 8-6 as much as other people might, but I do think this is a badass theme song for it. Incredible speed, incredible power, and I just love how the words are played with in the chorus. The AE80 Speedy 8-6 is so simple, yet it works so well. Overall, there isn't much else for me to add. AE86 is just plain awesome. Criminally underrated song from a criminally underrated album. It's not even that people are hard on the Alfie Meets stance, it's just that it's kind of forgotten about a lot. And it's a shame, because it's a fine album. I definitely put it above the TMN Meets Disco Style album, and that has Get Wild on it. Mary Ann is my favorite from the album. It has a vibe to it that's familiar in a sense, yet it feels very unique in terms of the sound, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's still got the 90s ABC production style about it, but it isn't your typical cookie-cutter Eurobeat song from the time. This whole album is like this, it's very pleasant. Domino, of course, is the other half of the song, and her vocals are lovely as usual. The track was actually one of my picks for the Eurobeat CD I burned for my old boss. She had heard me talk about Eurobeat a few times and was very curious, and I figured this would be a good choice for a woman nearing retirement who only listens to country. And it was. She enjoyed it. So maybe if you got someone in your life who only listens to classic rock or country, and you want to show them that crazy genre you're always talking about, start with Mary Ann. do love practically every Olive song, but Silver takes the cake. My favorite Olive tune has changed a lot throughout the years, from Big Brother to Fire on the Moon to Never Let Me Down, which are all great, until one day on a road trip with the family, I listened to the song as we drove into a storm. I don't know why, but it hit really hard in that moment, and since then it's been my favorite. Silver is soothing to me. Every feature of it, from the choice of synth to the man behind the mic himself, all work together to create a listening experience that can, for 4 minutes and 34 seconds, make my hyperactive brain shut down for once. In my opinion, it's a shame that Silver didn't get its own EP vinyl release. It was on the Take My Life album, but it is a star, and I think it deserved to have a chance to shine like one. Wild Reputation was one of the first songs Dave produced at ABC, a song that came from his heart about his music and the future of his career and legacy. I feel like Be Shine is an answer to Wild Reputation, coming from Dave after many significant experiences in his music career that shaped who he is now. I mean, it even follows the same structure as Wild Reputation. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but regardless, it is very beautiful. I enjoy the more mellow tone it has. This particular style sounds somewhat reminiscent of his cover of You Can Do Magic, at least in my eyes, but in Eurobeat form. Be Shine is certainly an oddity in the DRM catalog, but it shines. Haha, get it? Okay, we did this joke already. Be Shine, the mirror to Wild Reputation. If only it had ended up in the top 50 in Best of Beats 2022.
We can be now.
My favorite song by the RCS trio, Getaway, has quite an unforgettable melody. With Eurobeat, one might say the main highlight of the song is usually the riff or the chorus, but with Getaway, the entire song is like a structure of perfection from start to finish. Everything about it is a strong point, every segment leads into each other cleanly. I guess I can't really elaborate on what exactly I mean by that, it's just smooth. Getaway is smooth and shiny, like a bald guy. I don't know what kind of analogy that is. Anyway, Getaway, it's good. I'd recommend it. It's also a tune I'd put on the list of Eurobeat songs to show people who don't really listen to anything remotely similar to this genre. Take Me Higher has always been one of my favorites, but it jumped up much higher on my list after I watched Ultramantiga. I guess you could say Ultramantiga took it higher.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You see, this song is a huge part of that show. The V6 cover is an opening theme, that cover is also great by the way, and various versions play in the background throughout the series, ranging from a slow piano version to a heroic brass version. Ultramantiga is one of my favorite series ever, so naturally I associate this song with it and it brings me joy. But back on this version, this is the original, a track that follows the common Eurobeat theme of love, which you can't go wrong with. It's romantic, passionate, and catchy, a reflection of the artist singing. Nothing else to say really, it's a good song that I associate with a great show. Watch Ultraman Tiga. Don't even worry about if you've never seen any other Ultraman series, it don't really matter.
Baby, take me higher, 'cause I need your love into my soul. Gonna get you like a space boy. I'm ready, babe. Gonna get you. I'm your space boy. Dive into your heart, baby. Gonna get you like a space boy.
Of course this song is this high on the list, it's fucking Space Boy. If Space Boy isn't in your top 5, can you really call yourself a Dave Rodgers fan? Okay, I'm joking, I know we all got preferences, don't get mad. Space Boy was the first Eurobeat song you hear in Initial D, and for that reason it's become an icon. It is Dave's song, he is the Space Boy. But with all that aside, you still have a really solid track deserving of the love it has. Much like Love in the Elevator was a perfect capture of the early 2000s ABC sound at its highest, I believe Space Boy captures the late 90s ABC sound at its highest. It is energetic and fun, it never fails to bring a smile to my face on even the saddest days. And now, after designing the official Space Boy character, this track has become even more dear to my heart. Space Boy is my happy theme, and I feel a deep personal connection to it.
Gonna get you like a space boy.
As with most top 10s or top 15s, I got some honorable mentions before I get into number 1. These tracks are tracks that didn't quite make it to my list, but are good enough that they still deserve to be mentioned in some way.
Let's get in the light. Are you ready to get crazy now? I really got you all night. Come on and go the light. Feel like dancing with you. We gotta spend all the night, night long like the American people. Damn, baby, watch me dancing, 'cause I'm the one to shadow away all the night. Baby, watch me dancing. But I can dance with a song for you. I still by getting on, getting on, getting on. I got a little bit time, whoa, and keep it in my pocket, oh my love. So bring a little good time, whoa. Fire. In the sky with the fire dragon, take you wings and we try to fly. In the sky comes a fire dragon, right into my heart. Come on, baby, fight with the fire dragon, take you wings and we try to fly. In the sky comes a fire dragon, right into a brand new day.
This song has been my favorite Eurobeat song from the day I first heard it. Sometimes others will temporarily take its place, but Fire Dragon always persists as my eternal number 1. It is my favorite Eurobeat song ever, so obviously I think everything about it is perfect, but I need to be more specific about what makes it so great. Fire Dragon, to me, feels like a song to a final fight. It's epic and grand. The way the song opens with the soft talking, to the clapping, then the guitars start before the riff drops. Oh, it's such an awesome build-up. I also love the theme itself. There isn't very much Eurobeat that references dragons, and even though the dragon could be more of a metaphor in this song, it's still very cool. Seriously, Eurobeat and cars go together like bread and butter, but Eurobeat and dragons? That's like bagels and cream cheese. Let's make it happen more often. Back on the qualities of this tune, the guitar is worth noting. It should be, because you know, this guy is kind of his thing. He's the featured artist, and the work he did on the song is amazing. It really emphasizes the grandest of the theme, especially that sick guitar solo that begins at about 2 minutes and 50 seconds in. Fire Dragon was only ever featured in non-stop mixes in the Super Eurobeat series. The extended version was on iTunes, but I don't think it still is. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So unfortunately, obtaining this song legally is very difficult. There are a few uploads on YouTube, definitely go listen to them if you haven't yet. I'm sure any Eurobeat fan could enjoy it. Maybe it won't be your favorite, but it sure is mine. That concludes my list of top 15 Dave Rodgers songs. If you don't agree with me, make your own. And for those who might say, no deja vu, where's deja vu? I didn't want to put it on here.
Not, why won't you deja vu? Kill my grandma, okay?
Look, Deja Vu is a good song. The Eurobeat elitists who say otherwise just want to be different. Deja Vu is objectively a good song. But when you hear a song so much, you grow tired of it. And that's kind of where me and a lot of other Eurobeat enthusiasts are with it. If Deja Vu is your favorite, great. It's Dave's favorite too. But personally, it probably wouldn't be in my top 30. And even though I have a soft spot for it since it was my first exposure to Dave Rodgers, I like the other two meme songs better. Sorry, Dave. I always have the hardest time officially closing videos, so just stay in school or, keep your job, don't do drugs, whatever. Share with me your top 15 in the comments because I liked hearing other people's opinions about this. Join my Discord, follow my socials, yada yada, whatever. Have a great day.